Story 1. AITA. For refusing to pay for my sister's wedding because she excluded my wife? Welcome to Stateside Shock. I'm your host, Steve. Today, we are diving into a massive family drama. Am I the asshole for completely refusing to pay for my biological sister's wedding just because she banned my wife from attending? My sister claims my wife will ruin her wedding photos. But now that I've pulled my financial support, the entire family is calling me selfish and cold-hearted. Stick around till the end to hear how this blew up. Because today, we have 5 mind-blowing stories that you won't believe are actually real. Let's start with the first story. I'm a 28-year-old male, and I've been married to my wife, Sarah, for 2 years. Sarah is the most beautiful, kind-hearted woman. But due to a severe childhood accident, she has a prominent scar on her face. I love her to pieces, and her scar means absolutely nothing to me. Now, enter my younger sister, Emily. Emily is getting married next month. Since I'm financially well off and love my sister, I volunteered to cover about 60% of her wedding expenses, which included the venue and catering. We are talking about a massive chunk of money here. Everything was going smoothly until the wedding invitations were mailed out. One evening, Sarah and I were opening the mail, and I noticed that the invitation envelope was only addressed to me. Sarah's name was completely left out. Thinking it was just a typo, I called Emily to clear it up. What Emily said next left me completely numb. She casually said, "Oh, it's not a mistake. I love Sarah, but my wedding has a very specific aesthetic, and the photography is extremely high-end. I just feel like her facial scar would distract people and throw off the vibe of the photos. I don't want my big day ruined." I was disgusted. Sarah heard everything on speakerphone and immediately burst into tears, locking herself in our room. Without missing a beat, I told Emily, "Fine. If my wife isn't good enough for your wedding aesthetic, then my money isn't good enough for your wedding budget. I am pulling out of this wedding completely. Figure out how to pay for your high-end photo shoot yourself." I hung up and immediately canceled the advance checks I had given to the venue and the caterer. By the next morning, Emily's wedding planners were frantically calling her because the bookings were about to be canceled due to non-payment. Now, my parents are blowing up my phone every single hour. They say that what Emily did was immature, but pulling my money and potentially ruining her wedding is petty and vindictive. They claim I am choosing my wife over my own blood. Sarah is actually feeling guilty and asking me to just pay the money to keep the peace. But my self-respect won't let me. So, Reddit, AITA for standing up for my wife. Story 2. My in-laws secretly changed my baby's name behind my back. Moving on to our second story. This one is from a new mother who found out that her in-laws went behind her back to legally change her newborn baby's name. Let's get right into it. I gave birth to a beautiful baby boy 2 weeks ago. My husband, Mark, and I spent the last 9 months picking out the perfect name. We finally agreed on Ethan. However, Mark's parents wanted a very traditional, old-fashioned family name, Ebenezer. We politely told them that the name was too outdated for this generation, and Mark assured me we were sticking with Ethan. 2 days ago, I was reviewing the hospital discharge papers and checking the birth certificate processing status while Mark was out running errands. To my absolute horror, under the legal names section, it read Ebenezer. I called the hospital staff in a panic, and they told me that my father-in-law had come in while I was asleep, claimed there was a correction to the paperwork, and submitted a new form stating that the entire family had decided on this name. When I confronted my father-in-law, he shamelessly said, "I am the patriarch of this family. I decide the legacy. You have no right to choose a modern, meaningless name for my grandson." I was shaking with rage. I immediately called Mark, expecting him to be furious. Instead, he fence-sat. He said, "Look, it's already done. Let's just keep the peace. My parents are giving us a down payment for a house. Let's not make a huge deal out of a name." I couldn't believe my ears. I packed my bags, took my baby, and went straight to my parents' house. I told Mark that until he officially and legally changes the baby's name back to Ethan, I am not stepping foot back into his house. Now his entire family is smearing me on Facebook, saying I am breaking up a marriage over a minor disagreement. AITA. Story 3. My wife secretly gave my lottery winnings to her brother. Our third story is a wild one about financial boundaries. A husband wins a life-changing amount of money in a local contest, only to find out his wife drained the account for her brother. I work a regular 9 to 5 job and struggle like everyone else. Last month, my luck turned around, and I won a local company lottery, netting around $50,000. After taxes, I was ecstatic. My dream was to use this money to pay off the remaining balance on our student loans so we could finally be completely debt-free. I told my wife, Lisa, the plan and deposited the money into our joint savings account. A few days ago, I logged into our online banking to make the final payment to the loan company. My heart literally stopped. The account balance was practically zero. Almost the entire $50,000 was gone. Terrified that we were victims of identity theft, I called Lisa into the room. She looked at me completely calm and said, "Oh, I transferred that to my brother. He's starting a new tech business and couldn't find any investors. We're family. We're supposed to help each other succeed." I lost my mind. I yelled, "You gave away my lottery winnings without even asking me." Her brother has already failed at 3 different businesses and lost our parents' retirement money. Lisa started crying, calling me a selfish hoarder who cares more about money than family. I immediately called her brother and told him he has 24 hours to return the money, or I am filing a police report for unauthorized grand theft. Now, my mother-in-law is threatening that if I take legal action against her son, she will force Lisa to divorce me. Lisa has already packed her bags and left. Am I the asshole for demanding my own money back? Story 4. I banned my own mother from my wedding. Story number 4 gets deeply personal. It's about a groom who had to make the ultimate choice between his toxic mother and his future wife. Here is his story. My mother has been a textbook narcissist my whole life. She has controlled everything: my clothes, my career, my friends. 3 years ago, I met Maya. Maya is a hardworking, self-made woman from a humble background. My mother hated her from day one because Maya refused to be intimidated by her. She constantly made passive-aggressive comments about Maya's weight, her clothes, and her family's financial status. The breaking point happened last week during a wedding dress fitting. My mother showed up, looked at Maya in her dress, and said loudly in front of the entire boutique staff, "Well, I guess a cheap dress matches a cheap upbringing." Maya's father, who was working 2 jobs to help pay for this wedding, was standing right there, and I saw his face drop. Something in me snapped. I grabbed my mother by the arm, escorted her out of the shop, and told her, "You are officially uninvited from the wedding. I am done letting you disrespect the woman I love." Ever since that day, my mother has been playing the victim card, crying to all our extended relatives that I am discarding my own mother for a woman. Now, my uncles and aunts are threatening to boycott the wedding unless I let my mother attend. Maya is actually asking me to forgive her just to avoid family drama. But I know if I give in now, my mother will torture her for the rest of our lives. AITA for banning my own mother. Story 5. My best friend stole my promotion using my own work. Estimated time, 25 to 31. Tone, betrayal, and professional revenge. Our final story of the day takes place in the corporate world. What do you do when your absolute best friend stabs you in the back for a corporate promotion? Let's find out. My friend, Kevin, and I have been best friends since college. I am a senior developer at a major tech firm, and Kevin was unemployed for 6 months and struggling to pay rent. Out of sheer loyalty, I begged my manager to interview him and managed to get him a contract role at my company. I spent weeks staying late at the office, teaching him the ropes so he wouldn't get fired. A major promotion opened up recently that I had been working toward for an entire year. I designed a brand new software optimization script that would save the company millions. Trusting Kevin completely, I showed him my code and presentation slides the night before the big meeting to get his feedback. The next morning, before the meeting even started, my manager called me into his office and accused me of plagiarism. It turns out Kevin had taken my exact code, slapped his name on it, and emailed it to the director at midnight, claiming it was his original idea. Kevin got the promotion, and I was given a formal written warning. When I confronted him, he didn't even apologize. He just smirked and said, "It's just business, man. Welcome to the real world." But here is the catch. Kevin didn't realize that the code I showed him had a deliberate, hidden flaw, a bug that I left in to fix right before the live presentation. Yesterday was the live launch with our biggest client, and the system completely crashed. Kevin had no idea how to fix it. Management desperately called me to step in, but I refused, handed in my immediate resignation, and walked out. The company lost $1 million client. Kevin is facing immediate termination, and he is now begging me to help him fix the code. Should I help him or let him burn? All right, guys, those are 5 of the most insane confessions for today. What do you think about these stories? Who was the real asshole in each situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you want to hear more dramatic stories like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a like on this video. Thank you for watching Stateside Shock. I'm your host, Steve, and I'll see you in the next one.